message for 51236322447.
Yeah, Mr. McIntosh, it's not
Yes,
picking up.
yes, Judge. I heard.
Okay, I guess.
I'm texting him now. Did the court receive my motion and order, Judge?
Yes, I have it.
Okay.
Have you heard back from him?
No, not yet, Judge. Like I said, I have to go into the jail right now.
Okay.
Is it possible? Can we take this matter up this afternoon?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. I apologize.
Right. Did he add a barrier show back up? Oh, he's back? Okay. Add a barrier. Oh, that's what's Phil. This is assault. What about the harassment? What about the harassment? No. Wait up. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. You can print it off if you don't have it. The court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number 328-400. Second case is cause number 328-402. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Joshua Lyle Atterbury. Mr. Atterbury, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Atterbury, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Atterbury, you may put your hand down. So how are you doing, Mr. Atterbury?
I'm good. And you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Okay, thank you. Mr. Atterbury, I have before me in cause number 328-400, an information that alleges that on or about March 16 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of communication harassment. Mr. Atterbury, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Atterbury, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor plea admonishments. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Atterbury, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Atterbury, are these your initials on a line that's titled nolo contendere, which means no contest?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Atterbury, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal, Mr. Atterbury, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, there are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And Mr. Atterbury, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Atterbury, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Atterbury, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2. State, you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections? No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Smith, you've advised and counseled Mr. Atterbury. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Atterbury, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, he has. Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Smith, Mr. Atterbury, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement in case number 328400 is for 180 days in jail, probated over a term of 2 years, a $500 fine, 50 hours of community service. And Judge, there's one condition that I failed to include on the paperwork, and that is no contact with the victim, Samantha Bevins. That's a last name Beavens. First name Samantha.
Which we have no objection to.
And the sentence in this case would run concurrently with that in case number 328402.
Okay. Oh, so we're gonna have to do it, you type it another one, okay. Okay. Mr. Atterbury, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required
Excuse
to,
me, that's 2 years.
it says 1 on here. You gotta change that to 2.
Oh, 1 on both.
Okay,
So if it would, then that's my
hold on.
mistake again.
It's on the tablet as one. Okay, so you need to change it.
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault.
Okay, no, that's not a problem. Thanks, Mr. Smith. Mhm. Yeah, it's a 2-year, not a 1 year. Mhm.
It's also the fault if you get 3.
It's gonna be a 2-year probation. Atterbury, right? Yes, he had 1 year, but he's saying it's a 2 year. Yeah,
Can you still see it? Did I might put it back on? You can still see it. Can you put it back on?
okay, Mr.
It's just 2 years on that one.
On both?
It should be 2 years on both, and they're gonna run concurrently, and they both should say no contact with Samantha Bevins.
Okay. Mr. Ham,
Yes, Your Honor.
could you repeat the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state's offer in case number 328400 is for 180 days in jail,
Okay,
probated over a term of 2 years, a $500 fine, 50 hours of community service, and no contact with the complaining witness, Samantha Bevins. And the sentence in this case would run concurrently with that in case number 328402.
just hold on a minute. Let's get the paperwork.
I admittedly filled out this paperwork like a soup sandwich.
Working on the second. Okay. Now, Mr. Atterbury, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you will be placed on probation for 2 years. During the 2-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $352, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $852. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month, is $115. You'll be required to perform 50 hours of community service. You cannot have any contact with the complaining witness, Samantha Bevins. This case will run concurrent with cause number 328402, and you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Atterbury, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Atterbury, we'll move on to your next case. And your next case, Mr. Atterbury, is cause number 328-402. And in that case, Mr. Atterbury, you are charged with the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Mr. Atterbury, the state has filed an information. This information alleges that on or about March 16 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Mr. Atterbury, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Atterbury, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, I have before me another document. This document is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. On page one of this document, Mr. Atterbury, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Atterbury, there are a set of initials, JA. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on the next page of the same document, Mr. Atterbury, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signatures? And the next document that I have, Mr. Atterbury, is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Mr. Atterbury, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And at the bottom of this document, Mr. Atterbury, there's a set of initials. Well, there's a signature at the bottom of this document on the above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signatures? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And Mr. Atterbury, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Atterbury, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Atterbury, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atterbury, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer States 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 is admitted. And State, you like to offer, I think he has State's Exhibit number 2. Or you also like to offer State's Exhibit number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 2 is also admitted. Mr. Smith, you advised and counsel Mr. Atterbury in this case. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Atterbury, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Atterbury, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement in case number 328-402 is for 180 days in jail, probated over a term of 2 years, a $500 fine, 50 hours of community service, and no contact with Samantha Bevels. And the sentence in this case is to run concurrently with that in case number 328-400.
Okay, Ms. Mr. Atterbury, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in Jefferson County Jail in this case because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 2 years. During the 2-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $352. You'll also you will not be required to pay a probation fee in this case because you paid a probation fee in the previous case. You'll also be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, in this case, is $55. Mr. Atterbury, will you be able to pay the $55 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 50 hours of community service, pay a fine of $100 to a family violence center in Jefferson County. You cannot have any contact with the complaining witness, Samantha Bevins. This case will run concurrent with cause number 328400. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Atterbury, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Atterbury, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Atterbury, I'm handing your attorney a written admonishment. I will go over this model written admonishment on ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. And because you have an assault family violence case, so in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, section 176.1, the court hereby admonish you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. And number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under the Texas Penal Code, section 46.013, firearms mean any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance of any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or carry-over firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or carry-over firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Order for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective order. Now, Mr. Atterbury, that copy of this admonishment is for you. Please keep it, and if you need to read it again and you need to adhere to the conditions of this admonishment. Now, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too.
All right.
The key patient, We,
It's,
he's got, need to get him out of here.
oh, okay, yeah, you still next. Yes. I'm gonna stand at the one that follow for directions. Let's see, we got, we got a couple of cases on the announcement docket.
I do, Your Honor, and my problem is Mr. Lewis's face is beginning to swell.
Okay,
And I just need to get him out of here. as soon as
Okay.
possible. Then I'm ready
Louis next.
on the other.
Mr. Stewart, can you sign for me, please? Raise your hand for me. You swear you've never been convicted or given deferred adjudication or probation for misdemeanor or felony in this state? Do you swear you've never been convicted or given deferred adjudication or regular probation for misdemeanor or felony in this state? And do you have any pending charges against you that you know? Once you leave here, you're at a report to probation, but they're still at lunch right now. They get out, they get done at 1:15. Here's the address. I'll just give them this paperwork once you go in. Thank you. Have a good one.
Case, the court is in session and cause number 325374. Case of style of state of Texas versus Donald Ray Lewis. Mr. Lewis, is that your full name?
Yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Lewis?
When I respect to the court, see, since I've been here, this is just not swelling up.
Okay,
I want to ask, y'all, could y'all give me a reset?
okay,
please?
we can do that.
I'm a leukemia patient. This just started happening since I've been sitting up in there and I feel very weak.
Okay, well, let's do this here. Let's reset it.
That's fine.
Okay, just go have a seat
Yeah.
and your case is gonna get reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How much time do you need? 30 days? Okay, just have a seat, Mr. Yeah, just make yourself comfortable. What's that reset date? 6/13. Okay, the case is gonna be reset to 6/13. Mr. Lewis, your attorney's gonna sign for your reset? Yeah, if you need him to leave, he can go. He can get his reset from his attorney. Okay, all right.
It's printing if you want to give. You want to give them that one now?
Okay, you have a blessed day, Mr. Lewis. We hope that you have a speedy recovery.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Adam Alvarez? This is cause number 325. 570. A case of style of state of Texas versus Adam Earl Alvarez.
Yes,
Is that your full name, Mr. Alvarez?
yes,
How
sir.
you doing, Mr. Alvarez?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Alvarez, you're represented by attorney Bruce Smith. Mr. Smith, what's your announcement?
Yeah, we're now strong.
Trial, okay, give us a trial date.
6/20.
What is it?
6/20.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to June 20th of 2022. Mr. Alvarez, your attorney is gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
Yes, sir, you too.
Yeah, he's gonna sign for his reset. Jerica Lewis? Is that a motion to withdraw? I'm just saying.
I'm amenable to try to work this thing out.
Okay, well,
Okay, this is cause number 329216, case of style of state of Texas versus Jericho Lewis. Mr. Lewis, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Who's the prosecutor?
Be me,
Okay. And Mr. Smith, what's your announcement, Mr.
yeah,
Lewis?
I have filed, I'm appointed on this, and I filed a motion to withdraw since I'm no longer on the court appointed list.
You got that motion?
We've discussed that with Ms. Williams.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, do you have any objections to your attorney withdrawing from your case?
No, sir.
And do, and Mr. Smith, you were appointed, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, Ms. Lewis, we can appoint you another attorney? Better, actually, he's here. Your attorney is gonna be Attorney Nathan Reynolds. That's the gentleman that's sitting back there, right there. Now, Ms. Lewis, you're gonna stand on the X thing. I got it. I'm gonna sign for the,
First, so I can take him off and then.
okay. Here you go. I just signed that. And Nathan Reynolds is going to go on it. Mr. Smith, I've signed your motion to withdraw. It has been granted. You're released from this case.
Thank you. I've been on the case since San Antonio.
Samuel Cadena. You also filed a motion withdrawing this one.
Yes, Your Honor, and he signed it, and we e-filed this.
Could I- Could you print me out that, he's on the trial docket on page 2. He didn't appear.
He was here earlier.
Oh, that's him right there. Mr. Cadena, come forward. This is cause number 326368, state, case of style of state of Texas versus Samuel Cadena.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes.
How you doing, Mr. Cadena?
I'm good, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Cadena. You're represented by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Bruce Smith has informed the court, Mr. Bruce Smith has filed a motion to withdraw off of your case. Yeah, and you reviewed that motion? You have any objections to Mr. Smith withdrawing? No? Okay. Now, Mr. Cadena, I'm going to grant that motion. Okay, now, Mr. Katina, your attorney, motion has been granted. Mr. Smith, you're released from representing Mr. Cadena. Now, Mr. Cadena, we can, this was an appointed case, and so, is that correct, Mr. Smith?
No, Your
It wasn't appointed?
Honor, it's not a point.
Okay, so, Mr. Cadena, you have three options. One is your case can get reset to give you an opportunity to hire an attorney. Or if you think you qualify for court-appointed attorney, you can apply for court-appointed attorney, or you may represent yourself. You see, okay, we're gonna reset your case to give you an opportunity to hire another attorney to represent you. Okay, give us, how much time do you need? 60 days, would that be enough? Okay, let's reset him for 60 days. Give him a chance to hire an attorney. You're gonna stand on the 4X, and yes, in front of our coordinator, she's gonna reset your case. Once your case is reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna take him off the trial, that is not okay with you.
Yes. Mr. West, you have Satchel Lewis. Mr. West, what is your,
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself.
okay, what is your announcement on Satchel Lewis on the trial docket?
Ready, Your Honor.
State?
State's ready, y'all.
Okay. All right. We need to have you here tomorrow at 1:30. Look like that's the number one case. Okay. Okay, Miss Satchel, Lewis, you need to be here tomorrow at 1:00. With your attorney, your case is set for number one on the trial docket. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you later. You have a blessed day. Thanks for being patient with us.
Thank you.
And Mr. West,
Yes, sir.
let's see, is Jose Zapata here? Zapata?
You should be in the audience, Your Honor.
Okay, this is cause number 32544. Mr. Jose Alfonso Zapata, is that your full name?
Yes,
How you doing, Mr. Zapata?
that's fine by yourself.
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. West, this case is on the court's trial docket. What is your announcement on this case?
Ready, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, we would waive our right to a jury trial and ask that the court conduct a trial, and we're ready to proceed to it.
Okay, Stacy.
Bench trial today.
You like to do a bench trial today? Okay. Mr. West, are you opposed to a bench trial?
Not at all, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, let's Zapata. Court is in session and cause number 325244. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jose Alfonso Zapata. And Mr. Zapata, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Zapata, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. John West, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. West, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, the court is getting ready to conduct a bench trial. State, you like to read the information?
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas comes now the undersigned Assistant Criminal District Attorney of Jefferson County, Texas, on behalf of the state of Texas, and presents in and to the county court at law of Jefferson County, Texas, that in Jefferson County, Texas, Jose Alfonso Zapata, here and after style, the defendant, heretofore on or about November the 16th, 2019, did then and there intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly cause bodily injury to another, namely Gabriela Ventura, here and after style, the complainant by punching complainant in the head, and at the time of said assault, complainant was a member of the defendant's family, against the peace and dignity of the state, signed January 8th, 2020.
And Mr. Zapata, how do you plead? Not guilty, guilty, no contest.
Not guilty.
Okay. Okay, so he's pled not guilty. State, you like to make a opening statement?
No, we waive our open statement.
Mr. West, you like to make an opening statement?
Waive, Your Honor.
Okay. At this time, Mr. Coleman, State, you can call your first witness.
Your Honor, state would call, well, the state would ask that the court director Bennett to call the name of Gabriela Ventura.
No response.
Okay, State, you like to call your next witness?
State has no further witnesses, Judge. We would rest at this time.
Mr. West?
Your Honor,
State
the
has rest-
defense would. Go ahead.
You broke up. You got to repeat that?
I said the defense would request a verdict of not guilty in this case, Your Honor.
Okay, the court is gonna grant an instructed verdict of not guilty in this for this offense. And Mr. Zepeda, that just simply means that you've been acquitted. We're going to, if you need a copy of the instructed verdict, we can give you a copy of that judgment in a few minutes. So if not, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. If you want to wait for your judgment, you can have a seat and we'll get to judgment.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay,
Grace has one
on what page?
on your free trial. There's one.
Now, Mr. West. Destiny Lewis, would you please call Destiny Lewis? Court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number 321-500. Second case is cause number 330-298. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Destiny Lachelle Lewis. Ms. Lewis, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Lewis?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning. Ms. Lewis, you are represented by your attorney John West, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. West, what is your announcement in Ms. Lewis's cases? Mr. West? Could you call him? Just have a seat. We're gonna see if we can call, well, hold on a minute. We're gonna see if we can call him. No, why don't you come on back up, if she could get him on the phone. The next case you're gonna call in, Mr. Bailiff, is Kathleen Gray.
I'm here.
No, we're not ready yet. I said the next case. Go get Kathleen Gray. Just have a seat in the gallery. Next case is Kathleen Gray, cause number 325311. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Kathleen Jacobs Gray.
She's here.
Ms. Gray, is that your full name, Kathleen Jacobs Gray?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Gray?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Gray, you're here represented by your attorney Langston Adams. Attorney Adams, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Okay, Attorney Adams, what is your announcement in Ms. Gray's case is on the trial docket?
Your Honor, the state has a motion on that case. We're moving to dismiss the
Oh,
case. It should be in the works. I think I may have done the right paperwork. Oh,
You already- hold on a minute.
I think.
Hold on, let me check it. Oh, I have it on here. You say it was a dismissal?
Yes, Judge.
Was it,
Did you push the green button or?
was it
I
sent?
hit send save button.
Yeah, you pushed the green button on the motion. Sorry, we didn't get to that point.
I obviously hit the wrong button, Judge.
Is that, does he, where does it go? Does it?
Let's check it out, Judge.
Hold on a minute, Mr. West. Just hold on a minute, Mr. West. Yeah,
See if we can still.
well, if the case is gonna be dismissed, y'all probably can do that there. Yeah, and then I'll just sign the dismissal.
Can I release my client though, since the case gonna be dismissed?
Yeah,
It's lodged here in the
You can
system
go.
now.
yeah.
So let's try, let's
You
just
put
try
the
to
case
get
gonna
down
be
to this.
dismissed. They just gotta fix the computer thing, and then once they can fix the computer thing, it's over, so you can go.
It's on the record.
It's on the record. Thank you.
Okay.
Judge, I let her go, so don't issue no warrants. now.
Oh, no, I mean, I see to be dismissed.
And I got the other two I have is.
Hold on a minute. Let me, you have Tabitha Johnson.
She's here.
There it is.
Would you please get Tabitha Johnson?
Can't open
Can't open it?
No, ma'am.
I've broken it. Frank.
Is it, did it go somebody's still in it, huh?
it.
Does it, it's not, it didn't come to us.
Try it again.
You know what, counsel, I misspoke that.
What?
Isn't that what we were just talking about?
No, she was great. I misspoke. Yeah, he had 2 accident
Okay, go get,
involving
hey,
damage,
hold on, wait up.
and I got them mixed up, Judge.
Mr. Adams.
Oh, I'm ready.
This is cause number 326792. Case is styled State of Texas versus Tabitha Noel Johnson. Is that correct?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Johnson? I'm doing fine, thanks, Ms. Johnson. You represented by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams. Mr. Adams, again, how are you doing?
Doing well.
And the state is represented by attorney Tommy Coleman. Attorney Coleman, how are you doing?
Good, John.
Now, Mr. Coleman, what was your announcement?
Your Honor, Mr. Adams has provided the state with a copy of an obituary indicating that our complaining witness is deceased. I have no reason to doubt its authenticity. As a result, I thought I prepared a dismissal, and apparently it's.
So it's gonna be dismissed.
The intent is to dismiss the case.
Okay, so we'll just mark it down as to be dismissed.
That's fine.
When we get stuff corrected, we'll sign the dismissal. Till that time, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Stay in contact with your attorney.
Yes, sir.
All right.
My last time is outside.
Once you get your last. That's Martinez Perez, Leonardo. Okay, this is cause number 327814. Case is style of State of Texas versus Leonardo Daniel Martinez Perez. Mr. Martinez Perez, is that your full name?
That's his name. His name is Perez.
Okay, do you have a communication problem? Can you speak English?
Yeah, he just said, yeah, that's his name.
Okay, I'm just saying, he just looking without.
Oh.
Okay, Mr. Martinez Perez, how are you doing? You doing good? Okay. Now, Mr. Adams, what is your announcement? And Mr., you ready? State?
Your Honor, this is a similar announcement to the case earlier. I filed a motion for continuance on Friday, citing the fact that I'm doing the office. I've got 18 cases on the docket. I've managed to get 3 worked up. This case involves a DWI with a lab and a technician. I just didn't have the time to be ready.
Okay. Mr. Adams, you have any objections?
Well, if it's his first, then no, but like, I don't mind following the rules. He get his first. If that's his first, that's fine.
Well, I think it is because these cases have been around with COVID.
Yeah.
They've been
I don't know.
reset.
If it's first, he get his first, follow the rules. Well, you gonna mark that down as state's first, right?
We got it in the file.
So I don't have a problem.
Okay, Mr. Martinez Perez, your case is going to be reset. Give us a reset date for trial.
June 13th.
Okay, it's going to be reset June, huh?
That's good. That's perfect.
Okay, June 13th of 2022. Mr. Adams, you can get your reset.
We good.
And Mr. Martinez Perez, get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. All right, and Mr. Adams, you have a blessed day as well. I think this is your last case.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, that's
Oh, you
it.
already did it?
I have one up here.
Oh, okay.
Miss Destiny? Oh, Mr. West is no longer on the Zoom. And Mr. Macy, your announcement was ready on Kevin Banks? Okay, you'll be set number 2. you'll be here tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
No, what happened to
Huh?
that Landrum case?
Who?
Don Landrum?
That, well,
It's 325-643.
his attorney is sick.
What?
He's,
Sorry, I
she
didn't know.
said something about, he said he was sick.
Yeah, call.
What about his client? Did his client show up? John Landrum? Oh, that's him right there. This is cause number 325-643. This case is styled State of Texas versus John Anthony Landrum.
Yes,
Mr. Landrum, your attorney, your attorney is Attorney Jansen Bailey.
yes, sir.
Jansen, your attorney called in this morning stating that he was, called the court and said he was sick. Have you been in contact with Mr. Bailey?
He just texted me 11:45 and told me the same thing.
Okay, we don't have no details other than the fact that he's ill.
That's all he
Um,
told me, sir. I wish I could tell you more.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get a new lawyer.
well, now we can reset the case. You're gonna keep it on the trial docket. I would imagine you work?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Work for Larry's Plumbing.
Yeah, okay, well, I can reset it 30 or 45 days.
That's fine. I gotta do what I gotta do. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's give him a reset. Okay, this case is gonna be reset June 13th for trial. Mr. Landry, you can stand over there on the 4X in front of our coordinator. She'll give you a reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Um, What happened to Marcus Allen? Brian Lane? Would you call the name of Marcus Allen?
Adams.
Adams.
Marcus Adams.
Is it?
I did hear from Mr. Lane late last week. He should have filed a motion for continuance.
And, okay, here it is, right here. Oh, yeah, Mr. Lane filed a motion for continuance and cause number 327-811. And the state, you have any opposition to this motion?
State time opposed, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Adams, your case is going to be reset. And your attorney has filed a motion for continuance. And the state is not opposed to the motion for continuance. So therefore, your case is going to be reset for trial. You're going to get a copy of the reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your copy, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Did Melody Melanie Christian Abshire. Did she ever show?
She showed up.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was, they weren't ready on that. That's the one, nature's conflict.
Okay, that was reset. That was
That's a state.
state motion. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I got Atterbury, Banks, Harrison. Harrison, that's John West. And then, did Welty ever show up, Mr. Kimler?
He's there.
Okay,
We sent that one.
he has a,
One British minister.
oh, yeah, I see that. So y'all reset it with the felony?
Where he said,
Okay, Mr. Welty, would you come forward? This is cause number 329272, case of style of state of Texas versus Cody Cheyenne Welty. Mr. Welty, how are you doing?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Welty, you have a felony case, and your attorney is requesting that this case be reset with your felony case. And what was that clause, that date? Do we have a, May 16th? So this case is gonna be reset May 16th of 2022. Mr. Kimberly, you can get your reset?
Yes.
And Mr. Welty, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Working on 2 days. Yeah, that's what happened. Sanchez. Elisa Sanchez, you was ready on that, right, Mr. Chairman? Yeah, you was ready on that, right? State announced ready. So that'll be number 2. Okay,
Number 2, I thought Banks was.
Banks, oh,
She's 3.
yeah, Banks, let's see. Wait up, let me get back to my docket sheet. Number 1 is Lewis. Yeah, number 2 is Banks. And then number 3 will be Sanchez.
You want her back at 1 tomorrow?
1 tomorrow, yeah.
Back at 1 tomorrow.
Yeah, those are the 3 cases. And
You got Godbold. She's
yes. Yeah, Garbo, that's, what y'all announced ready on that one too? That'll be number 4 then.
So you want her back at 1 o'clock?
Well, I guess, yeah, well, yeah, we'll have it back at 1 o'clock.
Be back at 1 tomorrow.
Okay,
You're released.
yeah, you
be
come
back
to
at
1 o'clock tomorrow, here. Okay,
I think that's it for me.
yes. And then we have, are they pro se? Do we have oh, that's the person is in jail. These persons are in jail. Well, what about Jacorian Hines? He's in jail, Mr. Boudreaux? That's your case? Jacorian Hines, he's in jail. I see he has a felony case set next week. You want us to reset this, huh? Yeah, he's on the misdemeanor and David Grove is on the felony.
Yes. I think they arise out of the same incident, so. I don't know where it'll go next week.
Yeah, but we're gonna reset it for the same date as the felony, which is April 18th.
April 18th.
Yeah, that's a week from today. Was it? Yeah, today 11, yeah. 4/18, yeah. We're gonna reset it with the felony. Is that, let me ask you, that's what the state wants to do?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay. Jacorian Hines, we just had that set because it was a felony? What's Jacorian Hines? Does he have an attorney?
That's what I'm saying. Mr. Woodruff.
Oh, I see. Mr. Boudreau, I just noticed, Hines have 3 cases. So you already appointed on the first one, so you get the other ones, the other cases as well.
I figured that.
Yeah, okay. So she's gonna give you your appointments on those too. And we'll just reset it for next week, but they're not gonna be reset for trial because you just getting appointed. Okay,
Yeah, I don't know whether they'll go.
right.
I'm Don Luke, nice to meet you.
Okay,
Judge?
yeah,
I have one more that,
that was on hold?
on hold.
Yes.
Mr. Ham and I talked about it.
Mr. Ham? Would you come forward?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
What's his name?
Derek,
Tard? No. No.
Derek Bro. Derek
Bro, yeah, that's right. It was Boudreau and Bro. Mr. Bro, how you doing? Okay, now, what's y'all announcement?
Your Honor, we would ask that, you said for a plea, we asked, for 45 days. Mr. Ham, we've agreed on a fine of $750.
So you need 45 days will be enough time?
Well,
Let's reset it to 60.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would that be enough?
But
I'm just
my-
trying-
Your Honor, the deal was, he had 40, this deal's been on the table.
Oh, I didn't know
And he
that.
has 45, I gave him an additional 45 days, and if he can't pay it by then, we're not doing a fine only offer.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, he said time, so.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna reset it 45 days.
yes, sir.
Okay.
We thank the court for that.
Okay.
His wife just had surgery this past
She got
week.
staples in her head, sir, last week.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope she has a speedy recovery. Okay, I hope that she has a speedy recovery and complete recovery.
She's a little, I'm sure she will.
Okay. What?
It's gonna be June 27th.
June 27th?
Yes, sir.
So it's gonna be reset June 27th. Mr. Boudreau, Mr. Bro, you can get your reset from your attorney, Mr. Boudreau, you need to sign,
Yes, sir. June 27th.
yes, June 27th.
Thank you, Mr. Ham.
Hines gonna be reset to the 18th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boudreau, you're gonna have to sign twice. You're gonna have to sign for Hines and you're gonna have to sign for Bro. Okay, Mr. Bro, you can stand over there with your attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay, let's see. Got Mr. Vasquez. Macario, you need to take a break? Okay.
Hanging tough, man. Good.
Okay, let's do that. Won't you come on up, Mrs. Provo? Did you give Miss, yeah, please for Miss Provo? Court is in session and calls number 327-830. Case is style of State of Texas versus Joseph Darrell Tardy. Mr. Tardy, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tardy, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Tardy, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tardy, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Tardy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Tardy, you're here represented by your attorney, Ms. Marva Provo. Ms. Provo, how are you doing? All right, and thanks for being patient with us, Ms. Provo. Mr. Tardy, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about August 18 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of theft. Mr. Tardy, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Tardy, how do you plead, guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you don't want to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Tardy, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Tardy, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Tardy, there are a set of initials, JT, on a line that's checked no contest, which means no contingency, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tardy, I also have before me a signature above the line that is titled Defendant on page 3. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, Mr. Tardy, I also have a document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And the third case, well, the third document that I have is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Tardy, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tardy, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney, Ms. Provo, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tardy, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibits number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Ms. Provo? No objections. State's Exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Ms. Provo, you have advised and counseled Mr. Tardy Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Mr. Torrey, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tardy, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is for 1 year deferred adjudicated probation, $400 fine, 40 hours of community service, and with the sentence in this case to run concurrently with a plea and felony case 20-15823.
Okay, Mr. Tardy, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $400 for court costs of $352. The total fine and court costs is $752. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County for the court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Give me a copy of this affidavit. And your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $170 per month. Mr. Tardy, will you be able to pay $170 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will. Mr. Tardy, you also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, attend and complete a theft class. This case will run concurrent with cause number 20-15823, and you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Tardy, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Tardy, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Tardy, this will conclude your case. Now, Mr. Tardy, because this is a deferred adjudicated probation, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because she's quite competent in those matters. Mr. Tardy, you're going to stand on the X next to your attorney. You're going to follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Yes, you be excused once you say, Miss Provo.
Mr. Tyler, can I get your right thumbprint? Thank you. There's a signature pad right here. If you would sign for me, you won't see it, but I will. I get you to raise your right hand. Do you swear you have never been convicted or given deferred adjudication or regular probation for a misdemeanor or felony in this or any other state? Do you have any other pending charges that you have? Once you leave here, you get your report to probation. Here's the address. They'll be back open at 1:15 p.m. Okay, just give them that paperwork.
Next case is on our announcement docket, Gregory Carrington. It's on page 3 of the announcement docket. And that's Mr. Reynolds' case. Okay, who's doing it? Yeah, Gregory Carrington. Court is in session in cause number 329-546, case of style of state of Texas versus Gregory Carrington Jr.
Senior.
Oh, they have, okay.
Can they change that? Because I do have a son. I wouldn't want this to affect him.
What's on the information? Mr. Reynolds?
He said he was being.
I know, I just calling.
Here, Judge.
Mr. Reynolds, there's an issue, I guess your client is saying that he's not Gregory Carrington Jr., he's senior.
Well, I didn't know that it was.
Yeah, so what are we gonna,
Yeah,
hold up?
I don't have any, I mean, for the record, the defendant has tendered to me a copy of his driver's license, but the driver's license doesn't denote senior versus junior.
Right,
I've been in this situation before, Judge. Without having his criminal history in front of me with his identifiers on it, I am not necessarily willing to
let's do this,
change
let's
the charging instrument.
let's reset it for 30 days. And,
Okay.
okay, we're gonna reset it for 30 days, Mr. Reynolds. Give us a
Yes, sir,
reset.
Judge. Yeah,
He's on the announcement docket, page 3, the first one.
It'll be, May 16th.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to May 16th. Mr. Carrington, you're gonna get your reset in court. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Stay in contact with your bondsman and your attorney. They will be given notice of your reset. All right, so you'll be free to go. And if you have anything to say, you probably need to talk to your attorney. He's on Zoom right now, but I mean, if you have his phone.
Yeah, just have him contact my office, Judge.
Yeah, you're gonna contact his office, okay?
Yes, sir.
Just stand on the X, and get your case, so you get your case reset. Once you get your case reset, you're free to go. You have a blessed day, and Mr. Reynolds, your reset.
Judge. Okay.
Oh, yeah, he has another person. Hold on.
I had a Jose Bernardino, Judge.
You're right. Hold on a minute.
Yes.
Okay, you have Lester Lewis. No, he's on the felony. He's not on the misdemeanor.
No,
Yeah, he's not on, and,
I was a lawyer for Lester Lewis in his felony case. If his case was just, no, I had a Jose Bernardino that showed up on the docket this morning, but he signed the DWI diversion contract on April 7th. So I was thinking this case would be reset.
Bernardino? Did we? Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but he was supposed to be here. You might want to, we're gonna call his name. You can, he can appear by Zoom or by telephone.
What
I'll give you
can I
time
appear
to
for?
contact with him.
Well, Judge, I was under the impression this was going to be reset after he signed the contract just 4 days ago.
Now, you would have had to reset it. We don't just automatically reset cases.
Okay, can I appear and ask for a reset today?
I mean, normally you do that before the docket starts. So just have him contact, he could appear by Zoom or by telephone.
Okay, let me see if I can. All right,
Okay.
because when I saw him Thursday, I was under the impression that this case would be reset, during the
Okay.
course of his diversion.
Yeah, no. Okay. Okay, we'll give you time to locate him. All right,
Okay, all right, thanks.
all right.
Bye-bye.
Who is that? Mr. Vasquez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for being patient with us. Mr. Vasquez, we called Andy DeCario. He did not answer.
Judge, that's my fault. I just left him a message. He signed his pretrial diversion
Yeah, we got the same problem.
last Thursday. I came in at the end of I was operating under the same assumption as Mr. Reynolds.
Yeah, see if you can contact him.
I
By
just left
phone
him a
or,
message.
all right. Well, okay, we'll give you time to contact him. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Did Ms. Morrison file a motion to substitute on Ronnie Walker? Could you look in the 322962-1? Well, he got 4 cases. I see Stella is on one of them. But he got 3 other ones.
Three different cases, it's got her name.
Yeah. I know she's representing her name. Mr. Walker, would you come forward?
Andy Walker.
Ronnie Walker. Ronnie Walker. There's 2 Walkers.
Yes.
Okay, court is in session and cause number 322-962-1, cause number 322-988, cause number 323-372, and cause number 326-576. All 3 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Ronnie Jermaine Jacob Walker or Ronnie Jermaine Walker Jr. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Walker, how are you doing? Okay, that's good. Mr. Walker, I see here in one of the cases, it has Stella Morrison as your attorney, and that's cause number 326-576. And
I know my lawyer was Galen Cool, but he told me his license was suspended.
right,
And he supposed to call me after lunch about he gonna pay my money back with
oh,
another lawyer.
what, was Miss Stella Morrison, we got her on one case, huh? No, I'm saying, why is her name on the on the last case?
She's on it. She was just supposed to do a motion to fill out the other.
Well, we show that Miss Stella Morrison is on your 4th case.
I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Is she appointed?
Give me a copy of the letter. She's not on the court appointed list, so she can't be appointed. Well, I got a letter here, a motion here, appearance of counsel saying, Ms. Morrison, I hereby file this appearance as an attorney of record for Ronnie Walker. Defendant Ronnie Walker retained Stella Morrison, and he consents to Stella Morrison's appearance as attorney of record in this case. Please enter the name as attorney of record and send all communication to Stella Morrison. Let me give you this here letter. Mr. Walker. That's anytime attorney is appointed, not appointed, when they hired on a case and they said he represents somebody, they send a letter of representation in. And that's what was sent in.
To you?
Yeah, it just came out the file. It came out, it sent it into the county clerk's office. What day was that?
March 23rd. That was in 21.
March 23rd of 2021? That's the whole year.
Never heard of it. 'Cause I'm already on probation with the same case. Ain't never heard of it. I thought he was Galen Cooper.
Okay, well, he was disbarred. Okay, so he,
Either way, I meet at just morning, so what is going?
well, only thing we can reset the case and get a chance for you to, I mean, at this point, that lawyer is disbarred. Then you have three options. You can retain another attorney. You can see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, or you can represent yourself. Those are just three options. But in the meantime, we got a letter from Ms. Morrison saying she was hired. We may have to reset that case and get everybody in here and find out what's going on. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Now, do you work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We don't want you to be taken off too much. What about if we reset 45 days instead of 30? Would that be enough time between that wouldn't interfere with your job?
45 would be good.
Okay. We're gonna reset you for 45 days, okay? You can keep that. And well, put it like this. I don't know if we can give it to him from here.
I know the last time I had talked to Cooper about these cases, it posted.
He can get a copy of that from the clerk's office. Right?
Probation time was fine.
Well, it's a public record. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if we can give him a copy of that from here. Yeah, just pass that back to me. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and get your reset. And once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Thanks for being patient with us. And you have a blessed day.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes.
Your Honor, that phone number there ending in 784 is Mr. DeCario.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for letting us know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. DeCario. Once you get that reset, then we'll go ahead on and call Mr. DeCario. Wow. Next case is cause number 325622. Case is style of state of Texas versus Andy Lacayo DeCario. Mr. DeCario is appearing via telephone. Mr. DeCario, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. DeCario, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Joel Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez?
Yes,
Mr. Vasquez, what is your announcement in Mr. DeCario's case?
Your Honor, Mr. DeCario signed the pretrial diversion contract on last Thursday, April 7th.
Okay, yeah. Normally, a case is usually reset the next day. Dismissed the next day. I see his is a DWI. Do y'all hold them a little longer or something?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll reset it 30 days to give a chance for the dismissal to come through the system.
Nobody instructed me to dismiss a case.
No. What happens is they dismiss it from pretrial.
Oh.
Now, he already signed up for pretrial?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor, Thursday.
Yeah, pretrial. Pat Canal sends all of that down.
And back now was in a murder trial last week.
Okay, that's what happened. Okay, now, Mr. DeCario, what's that date?
May 23rd.
Your case is reset to May 23rd of 2022. Mr. DeCario, you're gonna stay in contact with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. DeCario, your attorney, your bondsman is gonna get your reset. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
All right, you as well, sir. Thank you.
All right.
That makes sense. That makes sense, Your Honor. That was a little tied up
Yeah.
all the way through.
Let's see. This is Mr. West's other case.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's, Mr. West? Sir, did you come forward? Okay, you got him on speaker. Okay, this is cause number 329248, case of style of state of Texas versus Herbert Glenn Harrison. We have Mr. Harrison, who is present in court. Is it Herbert Glenn Harrison Jr.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Harrison is represented by Attorney West. Attorney West, you have Mr. Harrison here on the trial docket. Can you hear me?
Mr. West? Mr. West? Hello?
Mr. West?
I think you have a bad signal, because I can hear him a little bit right now. Hello?
Put him on speaker. Mr. West, can you hear me? Mr. West, can you hear me? It does that when you go on speaker?
He's in a car.
I know, no,
Hey,
but
Mr. West, he could hear me when I was on the headset.
that's what I'm saying. Put it back on the headset.
Hello? Oh, he can hear me now.
Put him on speaker and see what happens.
Okay, let me see if he can hear us on speaker. Okay, hold on. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. West, you have Herbert Harrison, who's here on the trial docket. What was your announcement in Mr. Harrison's case?
Can't hear anything else. Somebody else?
Ask him. Hold on. Mr. West. Mr. West, can you hear me? Mr. West, can you hear me? Okay, it works on the street. Okay, well, you have Mr. Herbert Glenn Harrison Jr., who he's present he's on the trial docket. What is your announcement in that? What? But I think you said number one. You said you got to be in Houston tomorrow? I mean, you could have told us that when we set the trial docket with is that a Satchel Lewis? Yeah, number one. We going to number. We're gonna have a jury here at 1:30. I mean, we can't just. I mean, you don't know what time you're gonna be out of Houston, and then. Okay.
Trials over in Urban County.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The court, Office of Court
Yeah.
Administration gives rural counties precedent.
Yeah. Just no. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is a jury trial. I don't know what you got going on in Houston.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Okay. Right now, we're gonna set it. Now, are you announcing ready on this case?
State's ready, Judge.
Let me do this here. I put him on this week. That's the loudest we can get.
Yeah, I got the headset.
That's it. That's the loudest we can
We
get.
could take them off so he can talk. We just can't talk.
No, he can't talk on
Mr. West?
Hello?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah, Mr. West, yeah, we was having some problems with the telephone. Now, you state that you're supposed to be in Houston for 11? Is that what you said? Mr. West? We're
You have
gonna,
to be in Houston for 11, Mr. West?
I have a criminal docket 11 in the morning. Like I said, they do their jail, not
Okay.
9 and their non-jail 11. So I'm gonna try to be there early, but I don't know when I'll get in front of the court. So that's my only issue about getting back in time.
The state's ready to proceed to trial.
Unless they got somebody else to go to trial. I mean,
State's ready to proceed to trial of both Harrison
Mi-
and
mi-
on Lewis, Judge.
okay, Mr. West, the state is announcing that they're ready to go to trial both on Harrison and Lewis.
Okay.
So you need to be here at 1 o'clock on tomorrow.
I do what I can to get back to Houston. I'm gonna rush as fast as I can.
We don't want you to speed or do anything of that nature, break any laws, but yeah, so All right, so one of them, yeah, they're on the trial docket. When you come back from Jasper, you're gonna come by to see Blake?
But head back to Beaumont, I'll be, like before the end of the day.
Yeah, I think he said he's gonna come by to see you.
It's my case, Judge. He promised you visit with me about it.
Oh, Mr. Coleman says his case, you probably need to talk to him about it.
Oh, I thought there was Blake case. Never mind, I'll be by to see Mr. Coleman, whichever one's got which case.
Okay,
Sounds good.
all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Well,
Thank you.
all right, bye. Something wrong with the phone. Mr. Harrison, you're gonna have to be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Talk to your attorney. Okay? I will talk to your attorney. You gonna give him a reset? Just stand over there and get your reset.
He come back tomorrow.
Yes, yeah, you coming back tomorrow. You need to talk to your attorney, I think,
I have a flight already scheduled at 7 in the morning. I work West Texas. It's like 10 hours away. I'm going 28 days. straight.
you got your attorney's phone number?
I'm gonna have to call him.
You probably need to
Then
talk
he
to
said
him.
It ain't guaranteed he even gonna be here tomorrow. I mean, my flight already booked.
If you need his number, the court coordinator will give you his number. Mr. Walker, the docket, she said the attorney of record was Attorney Cooper.
Yes, sir.
And Attorney Cooper was disbarred, so he can't represent you. You know, he's not licensed or eligible to practice law in the state of Texas. I see here it says another one, Attorney Morrison to file motion in substitute. You see that? Did she file a motion to substitute? Had you talked to Ms. Morrison?
No, sir. I have no knowledge of that person.
Okay, Mr. Does he have a copy of the judge's explanation? Mr. Pam,
Sir.
could you give him a copy of the judge's explanation? Give me a copy too, so I can read it to him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Walker. You just been handed the judge's explanation of rights to defendants without an attorney. I'll go over this with you. As a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option? You have to speak up. She's taking a record.
Yes, sir.
Number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
And option number 3, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
If you want an attorney to represent you and have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you in your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. At the bottom of this document, it reads, defendant's choice, mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case to hire my own attorney, then you put your initials on the first line to the left. If you already hired an attorney, you put your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you put your initials on the third line to the left. If you have already been appointed a court-appointed attorney, you put your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to waive my right to an attorney to represent myself, then you put your initials on the fifth line to the left. Once you have finished initially one of the 5 lines, you will sign on the document where it says defendant, and you'll place today's date, April 11th of 2022. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Now, Mr. Walker, if you want to make your choice, you can do so. Put your initials on one of the lines and sign at the bottom where it says defendant at today's date, April 11th. He'll provide you with a. Okay. Okay, you want to hire the attorney? Okay.
Yes, sir.
How much time do you need?
No more than 60 days.
60 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay, reset him for 60 days. Mr. Walker, you're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator over there on 4X. And thanks for being patient with us, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Here you go. Oops.
Same situation in the next.
Daniel Rodriguez.
Sir.
How you doing, Mr. Rodriguez?
Good, how about yourself?
I'm doing fine. And this is cause number 326082. Mr. Rodriguez, the docket sheets show that your attorney of record is Attorney Galen Cooper. He has been disbarred, and at this time, there's a note saying that Attorney Stella Morrison is to file a motion to substitute.
Well, what is that?
That person is gonna substitute in as your attorney.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, wow.
I just received a message saying he retired from the Cougars.
Okay. Okay. Now, we're gonna give you a document that is titled, now, he can't practice law anymore, so he can't be a lawyer he's not eligible to be an attorney in the state of Texas. So with that being said, I'm handing you a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. And it reads, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have 3 options. Number 1, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Number 2, If you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
And number three, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want an attorney to represent you, I'm still reading. If you want an attorney to represent you and have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. At the bottom of this document, it states, defendant's choice, mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case to hire my own attorney, then you'll put your initials on the first line to the left. If you've already hired another attorney, then you'll put your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you'll put your initials on the third line to the left. If your choice is, I have a court-appointed attorney whose name is, then you put your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to waive my right to an attorney and represent myself, then you put your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you finish initialing one of the 5 lines, you will sign at the bottom of the document where it says defendant, and you place today's date, April 11 of 2022, on the line that's labeled date. Okay, now, Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes, sir.
let's see that again. You stated you want to hire your own attorney. You're going to stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator, and she's going to reset your case. How much, well, first of all, how much time do you need?
Can you get 60?
60 days, okay, we can reset it for 60. Yeah, stand on the 4X, you get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Thanks for being patient with us, and you have a blessed day. Okay. Is that? Lester Lewis. Cause number 323126. Mr. Lewis, your case was set on announcement document with your felony case?
Yes, sir.
What happened with your felony?
Dismissed.
Okay. So I see here that you represent yourself in this case? Mr. Ham, you want, make sure that we have a waiver in the file before we. There's one? Okay. If you want to talk to him, you fine. If not, if you needed to reset it, we can do that as well. Let me do this here. Let me get Mr. Villarreal. Let's folks that's on Zoom, Because he'll be the last, he'll be the only one left. Just have a seat. Nicholas Villarreal. Nicholas Villarreal on Zoom. Okay. What docket?
Pre-trial docket, page 2.
Yeah. Galmore. Mr. Eloy Hernandez. Mr. Eloy Hernandez. Let's go for Mr. Galmore's cases.